Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you this makeup look right here. This is my current everyday full coverage makeup routine. This was the look I've been wearing in my last few videos actually, but I think in my last video, which was my best nude lipsticks for fair skin, I had this makeup look and I had a request to do a tutorial, so I wanted to show you all the steps and products that I use. I've been loving this look because I've just been really into a full coverage makeup look lately. In like recent weeks, I was really into like a light coverage look and that kind of thing, but now I'm just like either like no makeup or full face. There's really no in between, and I'm always going through different phases. So this is the current phase, it's full coverage, and I wanted to show you guys how I got the look. Also, I tried out a new curling method with my hair today. I don't know if it's working. I feel like it's not. But then my fiance complimented my hair, so who could know? So hopefully you guys enjoy this look, and let's get started with the tutorial. To start out, I'm going to prime with my go-to Tatcha the Silk Canvas primer. I love this primer, and I've been using it every single day for quite a while now. So I'm just taking a small amount, like that much, and then I'm just going to rub it in between my fingers, and then press it into my T-zone where I have the biggest pore problems. And of course, right before I started filming this, I popped this really painful zit right here, which was a mistake. Like, it would have looked better if I just hadn't touched it, but it was one of those painful ones where you can like feel all your skin just like tightening around it, and it just needed to go. So anyway, if you notice that's what's going on there. Okay, so primer is patted in, and then I'm gonna move on to eyes. And for this look, I haven't been wearing a lot of eyeliner lately. I've just been doing my regular eyeshadow look, which starts with priming. Oops, my brushes are falling. Which starts with priming with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. So I just take this on a small brush, and then once I prime, I then just set my eyes overall with MAC rice paper, and then I get a little bit of soft brown in the crease. And then lately I've been following that with a little bit of the shade Wedge from MAC also in the crease, with like a slightly smaller blending brush than I use to apply soft brown, just to get a little bit more definition. And I feel like that's what I'm going to do today, because for this look I just feel like I like to have a little bit more definition. And then I'm going to actually add an extra eyeshadow item after the fact. So this is rice paper, like I said. And then I'm going to take this blending brush. This is the Morphe M518 in some soft brown, and just messily do that through the crease. I do this pretty much in every single video. This is my go-to start to my eyeshadow. I feel like soft brown is great on its own. It's a good mid-tone brown. To me, it's not too warm, it's not too cool. It's just like the perfect subtle defining shade on my eyes. And then I'm going to take a more pointed brush. This is the Morphe M505, which is just a little bit more pointed than the last one we used. And now I'm picking up some Wedge by MAC and just getting that a little bit tighter into the crease, because this is like a little bit more of a pointed brush. And I just shut my window so that it would be like less loud with less background noise, and now there's people crashing around right outside the window, so sorry if there's any background noise. And then depending on the day, I'll curl my lashes or not. Today, oh my gosh, now there's just so much noise. Okay, so today I think I'm gonna go ahead and curl my lashes. This is the Surratt eyelash curler. Now that eyelashes are curled, I'm gonna go in with my Natasha Denona Chroma Crystal Top Coat, and this is in the shade Bronze, yes. And this is like a super beautiful little top coat. I think a lot of like my little ColourPop shadows will do a similar effect, or any kind of cream, bronzy, sparkly eyeshadow you have, but this is just a bougie one that I have at the moment, and I just kind of pick some off with my fingernail and then rub it in like so. This isn't like the most glittery. Those ColourPop ones are definitely like more intense. This is called a top coat, so it's not so crazy. I find that this is a really nice kind of everyday shimmer on the lid. As you can see, nothing too crazy, so I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other eye. If I'm feeling fancy, I'll go back in with this M505 brush and a little bit more Wedge, just to kind of deepen up the crease color ever so slightly. This is not like a super dark crease color. It's just a little bit I would say, stronger than soft brown, so I'm just doing this. And this also kind of helps blend in the glitter, although I find that top coat is like really light and kind of blends in effortlessly with your finger. But if we're, you know, taking our time, that's what I do. So that's it for eyes, and now we're gonna move on to the base. So I'm gonna be using one of my favorite foundations. This is the Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. I have this in the shade Linen, and I absolutely love this. So I'm gonna be applying it with a damp beauty blender, and there is a fuzzy stuck on my face. Fuzzy has been removed from the face. Okay, so as I said, I'm using this Becca foundation, and I'm just taking this on my damp beauty blender, and I do 2 pumps total. The first pump I just do through the T-zone and blend out, and then the second pump I'll do all over the cheeks and blend out. And as you can see just from this first pump, like, it's super full coverage. So that's what I love about this foundation. I've just been either into wearing no makeup at all and rocking it, or rocking like a super full coverage look. Sometimes I'm into a little bit of a lighter look, but lately I've just been feeling full coverage just because it makes me feel a little bit more put together during these times where in general I just don't feel put together. So I've really been loving this. I've talked about this foundation a bunch of times, so I'll just speed through this, and I'm going to go ahead and apply this all over the face. Foundation is blended in, and now I'm going to go in with concealer, and today I'm going to use my Tarte Shape Tape, and this is in the shade 16N Fair Light Neutral. And I've talked about Tarte Shape Tape before and how it's just not my favorite anymore, because a lot of times when I apply it, like at the end of the day, I can just like see the line right here of where like my concealer is. And I figured out why that's happening and why I wasn't liking it. And it's because I was pairing this with like lighter coverage foundations. And when you do that, I just find that, as I said, at the end of the day, like a lighter coverage, more natural foundation might like wear away and look really natural on the skin at the end of the day. And I have oily skin, so things tend to get greasy and kind of move around anyway. And this is just such a drying full coverage formula that when that happens, you can really see this line here. But when you wear it with a full coverage foundation, like this Becca one, this is more of a full coverage intense foundation. I don't get that look at the end of the day because this foundation is also super full coverage. So I know a lot of people like to do like a super full coverage concealer like this with like no makeup or a lighter makeup look. And for me, that just doesn't work, because at the end of the day, it just doesn't look natural because of what I just described. So I've been rekindling my love for Tarte Shape Tape. This is a great, really, as you can see, full coverage under eye concealer. But I know only to wear it now with a full coverage foundation like this Becca one. So I'm just applying it on my under eyes, and then any excess I'm just dotting onto my nose because we always need more coverage there. Okay, you just saw me set my under eyes with my Fenty Beauty Lavender Pro Filter powder. I really like that powder. It's really brightening. As I've said many times, don't use it in flash photography because it has horrible flashback. And now I'm going to set the rest of my face using this BareMinerals BarePro powder in the shade Aspen 04, which I've also mentioned is definitely too dark for me. I'm just trying to use it up. I have a few powders left in my collection that I'm trying to finish up during this quarantine, and no one's really seen with me, and over Zoom, this powder looks close enough to my skin color that it's okay. So just bear with me, we're gonna use this powder. I keep getting interrupted by phone calls, literally haven't talked to a single soul like all day, and now I'm talking to everyone. So anyway, I'm going in with this powder and just setting everything. And because this is like a pressed powder foundation, this applies some extra coverage, which I'm definitely going for this kind of full coverage look. And I'm really just kind of pressing it in with the brush. If you want to buff in circular motions, it will definitely look like a little bit more natural, but I'm trying to really just pack on the coverage, particularly around here where the breakouts are strong. So I'm just pressing this in all over. Now that my full face is set, I'm going to go in and contour with Hoola. I have this little tiny sample size, and I'm going to use my Real Techniques Duo Fiber Face Brush. This is my favorite way to apply this product so it doesn't go on too strong on my fair skin. And then I'm going to go in with another bronzer on top because we're going for like a really full coverage, full-on look today. So I just do this really on my cheekbones and then on the sides of my forehead. And again, since I'm going to go in with another bronzer later, I don't go too crazy or heavy-handed on this. I just really think that, especially on the cheeks, this really kind of helps chisel the face, and I think you need to add a little extra dimension when the foundation is so full coverage. And then I take my NARS Ita brush with the same bronzer and just do some slight nose contouring, and then I also take this a little bit under my lip and then do the extra on the jawline, and I'm just making sure that this is blended in nice. And that is it for the contouring phase. And then I'm gonna go in with my Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder in the shade Bronze 03, and I'm taking this on my big Morphe R7 brush, which I like to think is a dupe for the Tom Ford bronzer brush, although I've never owned that Tom Ford brush, so can't be 100% sure, but from what I understand, this is a nice dupe for it, and it looks nice and beautiful like it. So I'm just taking this and going right over on my cheekbones, and this really just kind of warms and bronzes up the face. And this is where I'm gonna go in a little heavier with this on the forehead, because I tend to like more of like a bronzy forehead rather than like a contoured forehead. But I definitely have a large forehead, so we definitely need some bronzer up there. So just getting a bunch of this on there, and then taking some down the neck as well. Like I said, this powder that I set with was a little too dark, so I definitely try to drag this bronzer down the neck to help blend the two colors together, you know. Now I'm going to highlight, and I have like a bunch of different highlights that I've been going back and forth between, but what I'm gonna do today is take my Morphe M501 and then my, oops, if I can get it out of the drawer, this Farsali Rose Gold Skin Mist. And I like to do 3 sprays of this on my brush, and this just makes the highlighter a little extra special. And I'm gonna go in with Benefit Cookie. I also really love like my Kylie Santorini highlight and a bunch of other ones, but this one, since it's like a pressed highlighter, it's just the easiest to kind of go in really quickly and get on the cheeks. And it's just real intense when you spray the brush like that. So I'm going to do the tip and the bridge of my nose, Cupid's bow, and then I'm also going to take a little shader brush and get some on the inner corner of my eyes as well. Okay, speeding right along, I have this blush from Marc Jacobs, and this is the Air Blush in the shade Lush and Libido, which is a tongue twister. This is like my favorite holy grail blush that I've been using for quite a while. And I'm really going to concentrate this on the apples of my cheeks and then swipe back. I've really been liking like kind of a more, I guess, intense blush look, because again, with the full coverage look, I feel like you really need to bring that color back in. And I just haven't been afraid of putting a little bit too much on, because pretty much all my interactions are over, you know, Zoom or FaceTime or whatever, and you can just never have too much makeup on video, I think. So I've just been really going for it. And this is the exact makeup look I did in like my last video, and someone commented and said they loved the cheek look, so thank you to that person. And that's about it for the face. And for brows, I'm gonna go in with a different product today. This is the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Taupe. And then where is my brush? I use the Anastasia 12. And first I just brush them up with the spoolie. And I really, prior to this time, never really like dabbled in this product. I've had it for quite a while and I never really used it. But because I've had so much, you know, just extra time to, you know, play with my makeup, I've been using this. And I tend to kind of start like usual by like kind of drawing a line under my brow like that. And then for me, I have kind of bald spots at kind of like the point, the arched point of my brow. So I tend to kind of draw that in as well. And then I just kind of lightly brush through the rest of my brow with this. I find that this can get really intense really fast. So I find myself really like brushing through and kind of lightening up what I've done a lot of the times, and it's really just kind of a fine art to get that like top part of my brow filled in. But this is what I've been doing because I've had extra time, and I feel like this just is a little bit more of like a darker and more intense brow. And again, we're going for that like full coverage, full on look, so that's what I'm going for with it. So I'm just going to keep playing with this product and getting them on there and getting them perfect. I didn't feel like spending any more time on the brows, so that's as good as they're gonna get. And then I'm just gonna set with my usual Essence Make Me Brow gel. I hope you can hear my dog snoring in the other room. It's so loud, it's coming through the walls, so hopefully you can hear that. But I'm gonna do mascara now, and this is the Covergirl Exhibitionist Very Black Mascara, and I've been doing my mascara at the end recently. Like normally I do my whole eye look at the beginning and then like do the face after, but I've been leaving mascara just because I like to do so many coats, and I tend that if I do it at the beginning of my makeup, I am trying to move on and get my foundation on, so I don't like spend as much time applying coats. And since we have some extra time, I do it last, and then I can really just like keep layering it on. Mascara is on, and now it's time for my favorite part, which is lips. So I'm going to use this Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Wherever Walnut. Lip liner is on, and then for lipstick, I'm going to use this Charlotte Tilbury Kim KW lipstick, which is a favorite of mine. It's a really light nude, and it just kind of lightens up that lip liner, but on its own, it's even like lighter of a nude. It's a great shade if you're fair like me and you want kind of like a more light pinky nude. And then I'm gonna go on top with this Pat McGrath Love Potion lip gloss in the shade Lust Gloss. And this I've been loving. Like I don't think I've ever been this empty in a lip gloss before. I just slather it on constantly. So that is it for my full coverage everyday makeup look. This is what I've been wearing pretty much most days. I love that foundation. I love this lip combo. Adding just a little bit of sparkle on the eye I think just kind of jazzes it up, you know, ever so slightly for an everyday look. And I've just been loving this. So hopefully you guys enjoy this full coverage makeup tutorial. If you're not feeling rocking the full coverage during these times, that's totally understandable too. Just sometimes I feel like I need to, you know, put on a full mask and like live my life through this lens. So that's what I do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss my next video. And thank you so much for watching.